Welcome to all of our Crusader fans out there. We're joined by West Region and GNAC Coach of the Year for men's soccer, Co Michelson, ready to talk about the upcoming season. Last time we were here in the Fernando Suite, getting good news as the team made the national tournament for the first time in NCAA history. Talk about the upcoming season. Expectations need to be high.
Yeah, I think we've got a great group returning this year. We've got 18 returning guys, and haven't had the experience they had last year. Their expectations are very high. You know, they've had the NCAA tournament experience. We've got a lot of guys that have tournament experience now, both in terms of getting there and then playing in it. And so I know that for those guys, their objective is to see if they can match and go beyond that. So expectations are certainly high, but we also know that to get that to that point takes a lot of work, and it's just a day at a time, and you just focus on the process and the things that get you there, and take it a day at a time. So that'll be our focus, but we've certainly got big goals. Yeah.
A couple of weeks before the student athletes get on campus, so we're here today to talk about some of the newcomers that are going to be joining the team. You talked about 18 returners. Looking down the roster, you're adding 14, 32 players coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, you throw one more in, you've got three teams. You could you could join. You could be first, second, and third in the league this year.
I don't know about that, but I think that we've got a really good deep squad. This is, I think, by a margin, the deepest squad we've had here. I feel like a broken record. I think about every year since about my second or third year, we've said we're a little bit deeper and we're a little bit deeper, but it just takes time to build depth, and we're at a point that's really encouraging. It was a big recruiting year in the sense that we wanted to capitalize on what we did last year, and so there are a few points in time at which we thought we might be done, and then we had an opportunity to add another quality player, and I think we've got about 7 seniors this next year, so we wanted to have a really strong returning group for 16, and so that's where we ended up, and we're excited about every single one of them.
One of the seniors will be one of the newcomers, it looks like. Christian Adamson joins the team after 4 years off, is that right?
Yeah, Christian, he's in a great place, I think, personally, and just ready to get back to school and complete his degree. He'll end up redshirting this first year. He's got 3 semesters of school left and kind of get back in the swing of things and get playing again and get soccer fit again. And he's got a great frame on him. He's one of the best athletes we've ever had in our program. Left-footed. We've got Luke as a center, as a left back this next year as a senior. So hopefully Christian's a guy who can slot in and get fit this fall, play next spring, and then be ready to replace Luke that fall of 16. So.
And then we talk about some of the transfers. Abraham Placido, Dennis Vivar Diaz, Keith Fujita, Fernando Alvarez, and Sariba Camara.
Camara. So, really excited about those 5 guys. A lot of quality, immediate quality from every one of them. They're all guys who compete to play a big role in the team right away. 3 of those guys are junior college All-Americans. So, starting from the top, Abe, he's a commanding center back, about 6'2", but he's got really good feet. He's a kid who can play as a holding midfielder, but he's a center back. He's a first-team All-American center back. He's the 3rd guy we've gotten from Mount Sac, and they're the powerhouse in California in junior college soccer. And he follows in the footsteps of Jaime Torres and Auntie, of course, as 2 really successful guys here. And so he's an immediate impact guy at center back for us with the players we lost there from last year. You've got Dennis, who adds immediate quality in midfield. He's a 2nd-team All-American coming out of Laramie, and Dennis is a player who he could play as a holding player, but we see him as a box-to-box player, I think. He can also play in attacking roles. He scored a fair number of goals and assists both years at Laramie. And then Ibu was also a 2nd-team All-American in 2013, and his track times right now would put him in the finals for the GNAC in the 100 and the 200, the 200 and the 400 if you were to run that. But 6'2", good feet, super pacey, and scored about a goal a game at his community college at Barton. So then on top of that, we've got Fernando, who, that's the other place we've gotten a lot of players, is from Arizona Western. Jaime and Julio, and a number of years back, Alonzo Avila, and those coaches down there do a great job, just like at Mount Sac. So Fernando's a guy who is brings immediate quality. Again, he's about 6'2", so we've got some size in these guys. But I think the thing about all of these guys is, well, we knew we needed to get bigger because we were a bit small as a team. We didn't want to compromise the way in which we play. And so I think the key, when you look at these three big guys we've got coming in as transfers, is they're all 6'2", they've all got size, they're all good in the air, but they've all got very good feet, so they can play. And so you've got in Fernando somebody who can play multiple positions across the back line or as a center forward. So I think where exactly he fits, we're still trying to figure that out, but he's, and Jaime Verdine and Julio, he's played with those guys down at Arizona, so he's already got some guys he knows and meshes with and can play with. And then Keith is a guy we recruited out of high school. He was an Arsenal kid out of the club, big club down in California, Arsenal, where our assistant coach Steven used to play, and he ended up at Mount Sac as well. So that's another Mount San Antonio College guy who's played in state finals in the CCCAA, and he's very versatile. So he can play as a wide attacker, as a fullback. So we've got ourselves there, a center forward, a flank guy, a real versatile defender, attacker, a center mid. We've got quality all over the field from those five guys, and immediate ability to impact things immediately.
Looking at some of the numbers for some of these guys, some of them coming in 20, 30 goals in a 2-year JC career.
Yeah.
How much does it help adding players that have been prolific, not only at the JC level, but at high caliber JC level?
Yeah, these guys have played in national tournaments. They've played in state finals. They've been in nationally ranked programs. So they're prepared. They're ready to do that. And we've had a lot of success. I think we had about 7 or 8 all-conference guys last year who were transfers. So it's a market we're very comfortable with and we know well. And I think a key is that, in the guys that we've got at Arizona, like Kinney and Juan does a great job over at Mount San Antonio. We've got some good pipelines there in terms of, I think now we've had 4 or 5 guys from both of those programs, and so they're prepared, and the coaches at Laramie and Barton do a great job too. Ibu's cousin OC has been really helpful to us in the recruiting process, and he's one of their assistant coaches. So yeah, these guys are ready to impact the game at our level right away. So yeah.
Now I'm going to look at the freshmen. It's a huge freshman class. Alexis Mitrovic from Serbia, Caleb Druckhammer from California, Jack Hornsby from Washington, Jan Ilskens from Germany, Lance Schopp from California, Lauro Vasquez from Idaho Falls, Logan Wood from Washington, and Jacob Hillier from Washington.
Yeah.
Pretty good class of freshmen coming in.
Yeah, no, I mean, these guys, a lot of them have been told similar things, which is we're looking for them to come in and push the returners and push the older guys right away. We see players for what they are as players, not in terms of a freshman or a senior, but we see them for what they're able to contribute as footballers, as players, not as an 18-year-old or a 22-year-old. If you're ready to play, then you'll play. And so we've encouraged all of them that while that's their goal, we also have a long-term mindset, which is that whatever that first year pans out like for you, and as much as we want you to try and impact things right away, you also can know that you have the patience of the coaching staff, that we're looking to develop you for the long term as well. So let's get all that we can from the short term and see what you can make yourself this first year, but know that we're going to be invested in making you better over the course of the next 4, maybe 5 years, and we've got some guys that can do that. I know that we've got a couple foreign guys there, so looking at those guys first, I guess Alex is a very high level player. I think we see him competing immediately for time somewhere in our front four, either as a number 10 in that attacking mid role or coming off the flank as a wide attacker. He's going to have a role to play fairly early on, I suspect, and is a very high level player who's played at very high levels in Serbia. You then look at Jan, and we've not. I think that Yannick is a fair comparison to draw with Jan. He's on paper a year ago, he's a freshman, but he's a bit more mature than that. And Jan is as well. I have no doubt he'll make a significant impact right away. Big, strong kid, 6'3", 190, but very, very good footballer and has the ability to play right up the spine. I think most likely in the middle of midfield is probably where he fits in right away. So that's a couple of the foreign guys. I've got a long list here. We've got 2 goalkeepers, and we've got 2 returning goalkeepers. So we've got a great core now of 4 guys. You go back a few years when we only had 2, and it was touch and go sometimes with Auntie's back injury and how close we were to having no backup. And so it's good to have a good, strong core. I think in both of these new guys, Jack is a player who's played in the Sounders Academy. He's played nationally with Eastside. He's got game experience. He's a good shot stopper. He's a great communicator. He's a good kid, and he's somebody who's going to compete right away. And then you look at Jacob, and Jacob's a starter in the Crossfire Development Academy, and that's a high level of play. So they're both guys who I think are looking and hoping to come in and compete right away. Logan is a wide attacker who was Player of the Year in South Puget Sound League, and he's just got bags of pace, probably the top attacking player on that East Side team that was in National League. So he's another guy that's looking and hoping to make an immediate impact, and he's going to compete right away. We've got a couple of guys out of California here. I'm looking at the list now, moving on to California. We've got both Caleb and Lance coming out of California, and then Laro coming out of Arizona via kind of Idaho Falls. So he's from Idaho Falls, but he's been in the academy down in Arizona with Salt Lake, and he's a good technical player with some versatility. Lance is just a super hard-working player who can play up the flanks or in the middle of midfield, and we know from day one he's going to compete and bring a great mentality to the group. And then Caleb, another big, strong kid with some athletic ability, and somebody that we hope over the next few years can really grow and thrive in this environment and could bring something to the program as he develops and plays with these higher level players. But for a big guy, he's got pretty good feet and he can play across the back four. And I think from top to bottom, we're pretty excited about this group.
Nice problem to have, having to use a cheat sheet for all the recruits to add to your 18 players that are returning.
We're excited, and it's a really good group. And I think for the first time, we look at this and we just go, wow, we're trying to figure out first 11s and travel squads and how are we going to fit, and we've got a lot of decisions to make, and that's a good thing. It's better than not having many decisions to make. So
I think people knowing that, obviously people stand out like Auntie and Freddie, replacing those, but when you went out on the recruiting trail, was there a focus, or were you just looking to get the best players that could contribute to this team?
Well, you talk about replacing key guys, and I think that the key players we're replacing, Freddie up top, we were looking for a direct replacement. When we got Ibu, we were specific and very intentional about going, we need a center forward who can score goals and offers a lot of pace to stretch the field, drive center backs back and create space for attacking midfielders and our wide players. So that was very intentional. Center back we knew was a key. With Wong graduating and Yannick deciding to go back to Germany where he can just finish school a bit quicker. We had just two great center backs. Now we have Steven Davidson who can move inside. We have Graham Reed coming off a red shirt. We've got Eric Franco coming off a red shirt. But we knew we needed to bring in another guy who was proven at the college level and had that experience. And so finding the junior college first team All-American is a pretty good way to go about achieving that. So that was very intentional as well. And then, at goalkeeper, that's the other position that was really the key one to replace. Ryan played every game as a freshman. And you look at the win over Utah Valley, the draw against Gonzaga this past spring. Ryan was in goal for those games. He played in the national tournament, went on to broke his finger. He's played 20-some college games. He's got that experience. He's a junior now. He's grown. He's bigger. He's ready for that challenge. So we were really looking at bolstering the goalkeeping group to, and the depth and the competition within it. And so those were the key guys. Beyond that, we wanted a wide attacking player, and but really at that point it kind of became, where can we add competition to the group? Where can we, just improve the depth? And just where does a really good player come along that maybe you weren't looking for that, but that's a guy you just can't pass up? And I think there's a little bit of all of that in the group. So.
Appreciate you fans joining us. The team will be back on campus here in about a week and a half. Start the training for the fall season, and August 22nd, if I'm correct.
Whatever that Saturday is, we'll be playing at Gonzaga, and then the following Monday will be that'll be Monday the 24th. Yeah, we'll be playing against Walla Walla, and then on Thursday against College of Idaho. Those 2 games will be here.
So check the schedule and be sure to come out to August 24th, Monday. Catch the Crusaders in an exhibition game scrimmage game against Walla Walla, and then an exhibition against the Coyotes later that week. Appreciate you, fans. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this season. Looking to make another trip to the national tournament.
Hope so.
Go Crusaders.